This is Pat Iyer with Legal Nurse Podcast. Gerry Foster is with me today, and we've just finished a conversation that is going to get your heart racing. I guarantee it. Gerry, what were some of the key points that we covered in your podcast?
Stand out, don't blend in. Because unless you're standing out, unless you are doing all that you can to be noticed and remembered, unless you do that, then you are going to blend in with the rest of the crowd. That's the first thing. And the second point I made was that you were born to stand out and not blend in, to embrace the fact that you have been given very special gifts, skills, talents, abilities, a way of thinking that is all yours. And the opportunity is for you to harness that, to tap into that in those innate skills and gifts that you have to serve other people. And the third thing was to recognize that we live in a brand conscious world. There is a preference for brands because when we buy a brand, we know what to expect. There's no surprise of what it's going to be like when you walk into a McDonald's. You know what the food's going to taste like. There's no surprise if you go into a Starbucks. You know what the experience is going to feel like and what the coffee is like and everything else. And so the thing that I stressed as a third point was to put out a brand that will make you undeniably distinct. I can keep going, but this and the other thing, I'll keep going. And the other thing that I shared, Pat, was the simple fact that in today's brand conscious world, you have to position yourself as being preeminent at what you do, which simply means that you have to harness the way you go about putting a big old smile on the face of the people you serve by the way you go about doing it. Now, I called that tapping into your secret sauce, the steps that you take, the things that you do in order to deliver the outcomes that your client is looking for. And to be able to say that you have a way about doing it that is uniquely yours. Because, Pat, when you tap into your DNA, the way you think, the way you serve, the way you follow up, the way you solve problems, the way you do what you do as a nurse, embrace that. Nobody can duplicate that, imitate it, negate it, because it's all yours. It's like your thumbprint. Nobody can duplicate it or copy it. And so the idea here is to tap into your sacred self, tap into those special powers within yourself, affirm your greatness, step into that greatness and go out into the world so that people pay attention to you. I shared, Pat, that one of the worst things that can happen for anybody is feeling as if you're invisible. And I'll add another point to that, Pat. The moment someone's not paying attention to you, they feel as if they already know what it is that you can do by the simple fact that you're calling yourself a nurse. What's happening today, Pat, is that people will label you, put you in a pocket. They will put you into a box just by you telling them what you do. For example, I'm a real estate agent. Okay, I'll put you into the real estate pile. I'm a life coach. Oh my goodness, I put you into the life coaching pile. I'm a nurse. Okay, I put you into the nurse pile. You don't want that, because now you went from being Evian bottled water to just plain water. You went from being Gillette as opposed to just a razor blade. You went from being a Chiquita banana to a banana. Now, I know I'm being a little crazy here, but my point is, well, what is it about these brand names? Well, what they have in common is they're special. And so you have to find that one thing that you excel in, that comes easy to you, that's hard for most others, that few others probably really know how to do in terms of how you serve and how you take care of people and build your brand, pivot your brand around those unique, distinct qualities, those characteristics that define you, that enable you to shine above the rest of the nurses out there. And you have that. Because if you don't tap into that beauty, the beauty of what you've been born with and what you have been have what you have compiled and put together over all these years, then it's a wasted talent. And you're here to have impact. You're here to go out and serve. And that's the key of having a strong brand. And that's why the most successful companies and people on the planet are what? They're brands. Because we live in a brand conscious world. It's all about the brand. From the car you drive, to where you bank, the clothes you buy. I mean, it's all about your brand.
And to get more pearls of wisdom from Gerry, be sure to tune in for his podcast. He's a brand strategist, and you're going to enjoy what he has to say. Thanks so much, Gerry.
Thank you, Pat.